All right, look, I just want to talk about the legendary a little bit. This is obviously going to be an opinion piece because I don't have it yet. I still, when I get it, I want to do testing with it. But tonight, our heroic clear tonight will mark the 12th kill, the third month in a row of killing the same boss, and potentially not receiving an item that is 12 to 30k worth of DPS, depending on the content I'm doing. So let's talk a little bit about it first. First and foremost, let's talk about the power of the legendary. The legendary has been buffed twice, right? The first buff made the dot hasted and ability to crit. And then the second buff recently, which they did nerf the dot, it comes out to a net small buff. They nerfed the dot, and the active damage was increased by 15% and is now hasted, so the cast speed is faster. Um, but it's very, very weird in terms of power and what this legendary has been. Uh, because you actually barely lost anything previously from not using it. But using the legendary is a 3-second channeled cast time that would get you killed in a lot of situations, which was just really weird. Um, I don't know. I think they wanted to make a cool weapon. They wanted to make a cool weapon. They wanted it to be good, but I think how they made it good has been just not aligned with player interest, right? I think the design was cool, but I just don't think it's aligned with what players want to do, which is, yeah, they want something good, but they don't. But I've seen people complain about needing an extra keybind. I mean, Warrior is obviously one of the lowest keybind classes in the game, but needing another keybind for an item, right? So they're kind of annoyed by it. But I like it. I think it's cool. I think the dot effect is really cool. I like that you can actually do in mass AoE situations, you can actually funnel the legendary because the legendary damage is actually a cone. So depending on how you use it, take something like Mythic Tendril, for example. When all of the roots come out, what you can do is you can dot all of the roots, and then right before they die, activate the legendary, which then sucks all the marks in amplifying the damage, but then the damage isn't split with the roots. You're doing that all of that extra damage just to Tendril. That kind of stuff is cool. There is cool applications for this thing. It is a very powerful item. It is very sought after by everybody. So let's go into the acquisition and the fact that I still don't have it. Oh my god, I am so annoyed. I am so frustrated by this fucking item, man. It is such a problem. This is obviously going to be opinionated, but bro, I am fuck dude. I am working my way to 3600. We are currently progressing on Mythic Fyr'alath, and I still don't have this thing. I am completely neutered in terms of damage when not having this thing. Obviously, they killed Fyr'alath, a harder version of the boss, without the legendary, and I think it's obviously doable without it. But the difference between having it and not having it is pretty night and day. So let's talk about acquisition of getting this thing. It is pure RNG. Supposedly, doing higher difficulty gives you a higher chance. It gives you a higher. I don't know how the bad luck protection works, but it gives you more bad luck protection for the next time. But I've been going for this thing for 3 fucking months, man. And as a player on Mythic Fyr'alath right now, I should have it by now. And I think the problem with the acquisition of it is simply your skill and your effort don't matter at all in terms of getting an item this powerful, right? If this was just flat a drop off Mythic Fyr'alath, like straight up, the only way to get it was a drop of Mythic Fyr'alath and he dropped 1 every kill, I'd be more fine with that than how I am now. Because it ties into the balance of the fucking game. Right now, my character is simply 12 to 30k less strong, depending on the situation, because I haven't had good RNG. And that's not like, oh, you killed a boss and it didn't drop the item you need, right? Because with the new upgrade system, even getting a heroic version of items off these bosses is still really strong and really powerful, right? These items are really good, and you can upgrade them to a significant degree into the mythic eye level. Like the upgrade system has made getting good drops way better for all difficulties of the game, regardless of what kind of content you're doing. But the acquisition of these legendaries is fucking awful, man. It is terrible. Last season, in season 2, our main evoker did not get his legendary. I don't know how fucking long it took him. I think we killed Mythic. I think we killed. Did we? I'm not sure. I think we actually did kill Mythic Scale Commander Sarkareth before he got it, which sucks. And the funny thing is another one of our guildmates made an evoker, hit level 70, showed up to the alt raid the same day and got the legendary on their first kill. Dude. Yeah, is it lucky? But fuck, man. How bad does that feel for the players that actually put time into your game? It feels terrible. It feels awful. I feel terrible not having it, right? I want to do higher Mythic Plus, and I feel like a fucking burden because my class is designed and balanced around a legendary that I don't have. And that's when we get back into the discussion of power a little bit. Because when your classes are designed and balanced around an item that could take you, 4-5 months to get? If you don't get it, you're just a dog shit version of your class. It is simply terrible. So why can't you do... And they've tried to alleviate this slightly. They've changed the system very slightly. They added bad luck protection from the start. Heroic and mythic bosses have a chance to drop a lesser Ember of Fyr'alath, which gets you a higher chance to get it on the next drop. So if you're doing mythic content and you're killing mythic bosses, you have a chance to get these lesser embers to have a higher chance. So they're trying things to make the acquisition and the player effort matter. It's just simply not good enough. And it also completely avoids Mythic Plus, too. You should be able to farm 25s, 26s, maybe 26s and 27s, and then be able to drop lesser embers out of those. Right? Or preferably, honestly, I would just rather it be, hey, this legendary, right? This legendary, it takes 50 shards to get. 50 shards to get. If you kill it on LFR, you get 2 shards. If you kill it on normal, you get 3 shards. If you kill it on heroic, you get 5 shards, right? 10 weeks of killing just Fyr'alath to get the thing. But then you have it. And then doing heroic and the effort of doing heroic, which a lot of players don't do, means you get it before other players because of the effort you're putting in. Hey, maybe by doing 26s and 27s, there's a small chance maybe you could get an extra shard from doing those, right? So maybe that's how Mythic Plusers can get shards. And if you do both, then you can expedite the amount of shards you're getting. Maybe you can get 10 shards a week if you're farming those 25s and 26s instead of 5 shards a week by doing heroic. Maybe mythic bosses also have a chance to drop a shard as well, right? So let's say you're, I don't know, six bosses into mythic, like you're just working on Smolderon, but you re-clear those 6 bosses every week and you get like an extra shard or 2 every week by killing those bosses. That would be way better. Your time, your effort, your player skill rewarded in getting things faster so they can help you do the things you're doing faster. Your time investment would be worth it. But as it stands now, the acquisition is pure RNG. And it has to be said, it is possible I feel this way because I don't have it yet. I've been waiting 3 months for this item, and I still don't have it. I'm hoping to get it tonight because this and next week are both good push weeks for Mythic Plus. And if I don't get it tonight, well, fuck me. I guess I'm just negative 30k overall DPS because Blizzard decides they want, we need something a little special for that. Like, I don't know, man. Like, obviously they're not like that. They just wanted to add something cool to the game. I don't know. I don't want to be cynical about it and be like, oh, well, they want you to pay a couple extra sub months, right, to get that legendary because it's obviously a really low chance and it's really powerful. I don't want to be that fucking cynical about this shit. I want to be able to put effort in and earn an item. That's what I want to do. That's why I raid, because I want to get the item at the highest eye level because it's player power and I care about my performance. It is exhausting talking about this thing because I've spent every single week annoyed at it. But going into really how it affects the game as a whole, I don't know how the general player base feels about this thing. People that obviously are watching like content that I make and warrior specific content probably aren't the kind of people that are just like, oh, I'm gonna log in and do my LFR this week. Oh, it'll take me an hour or two to do my LFR. Oh, we got my raid for the week. Ah, cool. I guess maybe I'll farm some mounts and stuff like that. And for those players, playing like that is totally valid. But I really believe that people doing harder content should get these rewards faster. And I really think they should be looking into ways that you could change, for example, heroic track loot to mythic track loot from doing mythic plus. Because honestly, as an opinion piece, how I've played the game has more transitioned from rating to mythic plus. Maybe it's because the current guild I'm in isn't as hardcore or something like that, but I significantly feel that me and a lot of other players around my skill level probably spend more time doing mythic plus than they do raid. Like legitimately spend more time there. And I feel like that's something Blizzard has ignored for a long time, that the effort of mythic plus people just doesn't get rewarded for things like that. So maybe they need to look into myth track here. But that's off the subject. It's off topic, right? I am just eternally annoyed about the legendary thing. And honestly, I wish they would have just balanced the classes without the legendary. And then once enough people have it, then you can draw back the strength of the classes so they're not determined around a RNG piece of loot. Because every dungeon I do, every time I walk in a raid, I just know that regardless of how much gear I have, I am just that much further down the totem pole in terms of performance. Because I don't know, Bobby Kotick feels like I need to wait 3 months to get my cock ring. Like I don't know, dude. Like it just sucks. The whole legendary thing sucks. How it affects your player power in the game as a whole sucks. If they want to make a cool item, honestly, I would have rather they just make this shit cosmetic. Straight up. I would have rather it have just been a cosmetic legendary, or just give the legendary to the druids like they wanted and just leave my class out of it. And just make my class not feel bad. I don't know, man. I could ramble and ramble and ramble more, but there's not really much else to say. I don't know. I guess this is me venting about it, you know? I just really wish that my player performance wasn't dictated by a fucking RNG piece of shit. It's just it's a very frustrating experience. And it's very possible that if I would have gotten this item a month or even a month and a half ago, way earlier than everybody else, I might be sitting here going, legendary, I had to wait a bit, but I got it, it's like, I could have felt that way, but I don't know. It's just a frustrating experience, and I really hope they change it in the future. Because it seems like they really like adding the legendary to the Race to World First, and having the Race to World First like unlock something. I think that going forward, I don't know if it should necessarily be the Race to World First unlocking a legendary. Who knows? Maybe they unlock a faction with really cool rewards because they're the first ones to clear it. So now that faction is now not being oppressed or stuck or caged or jailed in whatever the boss's arena is or whatever, right? I don't know. Something. They can keep adding different things that the World First Race unlocks, but I think they need to hold back on this legendary thing, because it is a profoundly frustrating system. For hopefully more than just. I mean, I hope it's not frustrating for more than just me, but this is just me kind of venting about it, man. This is just how I feel about it. It's just frustrating. That's kind of all I've got to say. I've already said that once, and now this will be the final time I say it. So, yep, I'll be streaming later tonight. We're going to do our heroic clear. Hopefully I get it, and hopefully I don't feel like posting the gif of Kermit falling off of a building, because that's how I feel every single time I don't get this thing. Peace.